Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's a Temerian Tuesday. We're covering this on Twitch on actual Tuesday because I got behind due to the Era 2's Gwent leak, which was a total riot. Now, I got two challenges, one from Quiet Place, thank you very much, to make a neutral deck to see if I could get a win with an all-neutral deck. And then I got this this daily challenge to play 30 neutral cards and thought, I see that a bunch. I want to see if I can get a neutral deck to work. Why not? Let's try it out. Then I got a request from Shubham Kumar to make a Northern Realms Lambert Swordmaster deck, which caused me to think, what if I double challenged myself and made a deck where I did both things all at once? That caused me to think, one second, let me just turn down this sound right here for you. Fun sounds all going on. And it caused me to think to myself, could I do it? Could I make this happen? Maybe. This is the deck. We're using Oneiromancy with Ale of Ancestors and Uprising to get some really good value. I want to say, just as a side comment, Ale of Ancestors is fantastic for the seasonal because it gets... there's very few cards that can purify artifacts. Boiling Oil is one of the very few ones that can. And because of that, you are able to carry over Ale of Ancestors, boost your units by 3 every 2 turns. It's pretty cool. But it's helpful in this deck to get some boosts on units to help the leader charge with Valyrian Scytheman. So we are using Uprising. I found it's the best value in this deck. Just because we can get value with Bone Talisman. We've got Jermaine Piquant in here. Then we've got a Heracrax. With Phoenix is the play, and then we also get Eskel Pathfinder for a consistent self boost, and then All God for carryover value. So it's a weird deck. It's super spicy, and it's really hard to get a win with, if we're all being honest. But we're gonna take you guys into some gameplay and see what we can get. Always make sure to check out your journey, though. I do want to say this is just a PSA for everyone. Make sure you're working on those weekly quests. Make sure you're checking out your journey, getting all of your avatars and all of the fun stuff that you got. They have some really, really cool art this game, in this game generally, but this season has some excellent, excellent art. Highly recommend it. Anyway, jumping into a game. Biggest things to think about with this deck, with any All-God deck, you're kind of just foregoing that round, and then we're going to kind of supplement that foregoance, if that's even a word, with the play of a Heracrax, which is going to get out the opponent's best card, but it's also going to get out our best card, or highest provision card, rather, which is typically the best card, but the highest provision card, and that's going to get us some really good value. So here we do get Oneiromancy. I don't want to draw into too many things, because we have a Heracrax, we have All God. I'm going to put that back. Lambert Swordmaster is great. It's really effective against these mobilization decks where we can just punish the opponent for their plays. I do want to get out a Heracrax. I want to get out probably Iron Falcon Troubadour to get armor onto the Iron Falcon Infantry. And then we probably want to get out of this round after we've played All God, and then we'll play a Heracrax third.
It will not be.
I will say Iron Falcon Troubadour is susceptible to some of the rudeness the opponent might do to us. He doesn't really have any armor. They're probably going to go for some kind of 3 damage here and get this Revenant to spawn more friends. But we're going to be playing into other rounds where we can use Lambert Swordmaster to punish all of these Revenants and get maximum value from him. We also do carry Golden Froth, so you do want to try to line up your units as best as you can to benefit from that. But again, here we'll go for All God. We're going to go ahead and boost up Phoenix because we know we're going to get it. So there's no reason not to. Then we'll boost Pathfinder because we have Oneiro and he's going to be the other card we get. And then probably Squirrel. Squirrel's the last card that actually, we'll go for Mantlet. Mantlet's actually nice. It gives us some protection against the opponent's cards here. But here I'm hoping for a pull of like Falibor as a really good example with the Heracrax. But here, because we get All God onto Phoenix, the Heracrax is playing for 10 points for us, and we're just forcing out the opponent's best card. Since we are on since we're on red coin, we have a little bit more flexibility and just kind of saying, you know, we don't really care. We're gonna throw this round away. Annoying, but by no means the end of our game. Philippa Blind Fury is even better. I guess we're still in this round, so we might actually want to make a go of it.
Both truly remarkable and bloody annoying.
They might be using Heat Wave. So I do think you have to choose when and where you want to contest. You know, the opponent here able to get good value out of the Philippa. I mean, we could try to push this round, but it is going to be a little bit difficult. That said, mobilization is going to come out later, and we can go for maximum value with the Lambert Swordmaster. Let's go ahead and get Iron Falcon infantry down. So they're going to boost once per turn, and then we can get Wagon down, and it's going to have Zeal, so it can give them more armor. We give armor to other units that get damaged. Iron Falcon Knife Juggler is value as well. We might get that down and just pray we hit some of these Revenants. Now, I will say Ronvid is kind of the goal for the opponent, and he has value over time. He is the carryover, so Heat Wave actually looks really nice for me on a Ronvid. Kind of disables a lot of their future play. And if we're able to play Mantlet, we're going to be able to deny value onto our own units. So that right now is looking pretty nice to me, but we'll start with Juggler.
Could I borrow a whetstone? Maybe 10.
Heat Wave coming down against the Phoenix. So we might have wanted to get out of the round a little earlier to defend against that. Right now, Lambert is coming down for 6 plus 2, 4, 6, 8 points. So he's coming down for 14 total points of value. Right now, we would be down by 5 if we made that play. But the opponent is going to take 2 more bleed damage, so we have some flexibility. Just kind of deciding here what we can get the most value out of. I think what we'll do here is go for let's set up Eskel. Obviously the Heat Wave, like I said before, would have been good value against this Ronvid. But since he's taking the bleed damage, it's looking less helpful to me. Yeah, they are almost expected. Moon of Venus saying that that the Nero transition into Heat Wave is all too common. Let's go ahead and get Wagon down here. I don't really care where we put this value. So I think we're going to just top this off on Iron Falcon Infantry. Although Troubadour would make force out some weird plays from the opponent. Vincent Meese could really upset that value. So well, we'll go ahead and put this here just to deny value to the opponent. Now we can go for Golden Froth onto these 3 units. Lambert Swordmaster can go anywhere. He's not locked to melee, but Germain Bequant does need to go to melee. We're just saving him for later play. So we're going to use Germain after we get down Ale of Ancestors, and then boost up all the cows all at the same time, and drop down a really powerful Scytheman. There'll be 3 boosted units plus the one from the Ale. It gives you 6 points of boost, and then you already have 4 boosted units, so the Scytheman is going to come down for 7 points. It's all in just 2 cards of play, so really good value. Unfortunately, we pulled Eskel. I think the better use here would have been Squirrel.
I fight for you, bleed for him, yet what do I get?
So right now, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So the opponent would go down to 31, and we would go up to 28. So this is enough points to get us over the hump, and we're going up by 2 points per turn. Keep that in mind. I am recording again, Moon of Venus, but I like to get insights and comments and make them in real time while I'm doing recordings. I actually really enjoy that.
Don't teach your grandma to suck eggs.
Boom! Go teach your grandma to suck eggs. Hello, Lambert. So losing Phoenix kind of sucks for us here. We have to decide how long a round we want to go for. So Ale of Ancestors plays really well into a longer round. But the opponent here does like to get these like double archers going. So we just have to be a little bit thoughtful about that. I don't really love anything that I'm seeing here.
Truly remarkable and bloody annoying.
Oh. I don't really want to play into a long round, but I don't think we have a choice here. We just kind of got some really bad draws. Ballista is a really weird card to bring. I guess getting the armor could be helpful in a even matchup. Okay. All right, Troubadour on to Falcon Infantry is fine. Spores is probably not going to get us all that much use here. Bone Talisman is quite good. We are first going to go for Ale of Ancestors, though. Missing Mantlet is truly depressing. But there's only so much you can do in a deck that's all neutrals with Lambert Swordmaster in a Northern Realms deck. Trying to meet both of these requirements from our lovely fans is a difficult way to live our life. That's for darn sure. This is a smart play to get the double Revenant. The Heat Wave here looks pretty nice for me, but I don't have a way of dealing with this other Revenant. Yeah. Not much choice here. So we're going to go for Ale of Ancestors. It does have Zeal, so we could have boosted something had we already played it. These decks are weirdly mismatched against each other. So one thing we could do here, if we're really feeling cheeky, we could actually use Heat Wave against the Ronvid after we used Pact. Let's save it. We need the armor onto them. We're gonna go ahead for the boost here. These damages are gonna be a little annoying. Getting those individual pings is really gonna be problematic for us. Alright, we'll go for Falcon Infantry here. Just trying to be a little bit patient. Hoping that the opponent runs out of room with these Revenants a little bit too. Trist Telekinesis is interesting. I'm guessing he's going for boiling oil.
Do what I can.
And he gets it. Which is unfortunate because we carry several bronze specials as well. So, you know, sometimes the opponent gets the luck, sometimes they don't. It's not a bunch. There's not a whole ton you can do about it. All right, here we're gonna go for Pequant.
We'll defend our homes, no matter what.
Spirit's willing and how?
So that's the cool big play we get. But as you can see, kind of hard to push back against the opponent here.
Retreat behind. Somebody refresh.
Guessing they're gonna go for another one of these. We really needed it. So against this deck, it does rely on kind of these engines over time. We really needed to generate more value in round 2 to prevent that. Not a whole lot we can do about it. So we're going to see one of these cows die either way, so we might as well use this now. Opponent here is out of room. I think they might go for like a siege ladder to move one of these back up. Start generating value up in the top row. But we'll just have to see. I think we missed the use of the heat wave. We should have used it on this 6-point revenant early on. Or onto the... in the first round onto the Ronvid. But we are where we are. And an Amphib on Decayed One Unite to just get maximum value.
For this most beautiful of maidens, I shall fight 100 duels.
Not enough for us, though. These decks are hard, man. Alright, I've been standing, so I feel a little bit like Inigo Montoya. I know something you don't know. I've been standing. So we're gonna go into my brain pose. We're gonna try again. Do. Let's get it. I have gotten wins with this deck. This is ever my plague, though. Every time I try to record, it's always like, oh well, hope you like losing.
Any last
Got you a side order of it today. Oh, and this Thrive deck, I've seen a lot of it online. Okay, this time we actually do get Mantlet, so that's nice. We get a Nero, a Hero Quacks, and All God. Important for that. Pact is just really not important at all. I do not want to break with the other ones. I will say there aren't any good thinning cards with bandits. Excuse me. There aren't any good thinning cards, so there's not a lot of tempo. There's not a lot of consistency. This deck is not for the faint of heart. Let's just put it that way. So we want Troubadours, we want All God, and we want Hero Quacks. So in the event that they do run Squirrel, we're gonna wait on the Hero Quack on the All God. Pugo Boombreaker is great for the Thrive, so this is a little bit. He's a little bit unfortunate in that it's random, and so he'll just damage any random allied unit by 3 points. But he is really great for the Thrive. So we're just gonna go Troubadour onto Infantry, and then we'll go over a second Troubadour onto Mantlet. But I think we do want to try to get some value going here. In the event that we'd like to stay in this match. Necker's coming down. Okay, we're gonna start infantry now. You do want to give off the air that you are attempting to try. It doesn't hurt that the 10 neutral cards requirement is going on this week, and so if you're able to play these neutral cards, people might just think that you don't care and you're just throwing out neutral cards. You might be able to bait them into a sense of security, a false sense of security, and take advantage of them that way. That's probably the best chance you have at winning with this deck, if we're all being honest with ourselves. Okay, here Quack's coming down for the Phoenix. We draw down old Spear Tip. That's nice. He's getting a lot more play lately, but 13 provisions. I don't mind using Heat Wave on him if this round is contestable, but I'm not sure how contestable it actually is. The opponent still hasn't used Tactical Advantage. Wild Hunt Rider's coming out now. There's just not really any way that we can contest this round. And I think that the opponent would likely call our bluff if we tried to. So we can get the opponent down by 12 points as our best play. The question is whether or not the opponent's going to consume it, but the 2-point delta between Boombreaker and Spear Tip is such that I'm not going to lose my mind over it. We can just use a Neuromancy with All God this next round. Obviously, we could have used the Nero onto the Falcon with All God. Onto Phoenix, sorry. That helps. It's not ultimately all that necessary. So we'll have to see how the opponent leads this round. If it's a Thrive card or something of that sort, we're probably going to want to try to generate maximum value with Ale of Ancestors, just to try to put up some value. And Phoenix Hatchling works really well with that because we can go ahead and boost it straight away. So we'll see what the first play is. If it's just big tempo, then we have 3 cards that we can spend this round to try to overtake the opponent. They still are down by 1 card, so we do have some flexibility. Griffin is a big play. Here, I think we're going to start off with Iron Falcon Troubadour. So I like to go for Troubadour first onto Infantry, just so I have flexibility to play them when I want to. We obviously haven't overtaken the opponent here, so just waiting on this Phoenix until we know we can overtake them. The Ozrel onto Spear Tip is big tempo.
Keep your distance! Aim for their knobs!
So we can erase this Ozrel, and we would then go up by just enough points. We're going to go up to 14 points because this Iron Falcon Infantry will get boosted. The opponent will go down to 10. So knowing that the big play has already been made, that's probably my best course of action. Obviously, we want to transform this so it carries over to the next round. Now I would need to make a 7. Could use leader charges if I wanted to, but I prefer not to. So here we're just going to erase this Ozrel. End the turn. Take the pass. So we preserved Ale of Ancestors. We didn't really have to spend much of anything, just the Heat Wave, which is useful, but the opponent doesn't have any carryover because of the Ozrel. No more huge point slam. All God is now dead to us. We should have played him. That was definitely bad use case on my part. But Lambert Swordmaster is going to be our pull here. Squirrel is probably one of the worst choices. Golden Froth, Pact, Spores are all better options. We do get Lambert to hand, so we can use him. at a time that is best fitting for us. Oh, not that yet. Ale of Ancestors first. This is probably going to come down to how much point value the opponent has, if they have any cards that are the same, and how much removal they're using. So we're going to go ahead and start with Mantlet here. Just is going to give everybody armor. Make removal a little bit tricky for the opponent. I'm waiting a little bit for Neckers. Hopefully they play Neckers. I know I see them a lot in decks. 2 already there. That's probably the best use for Lambert. So you do want to try to target at least 2 of the same unit to get 10 points of value with him. Iron Falcon Knife Juggler actually might have been a better choice. Alright, we do need to get Eskel going. Since there's a veiled unit, I'm just going to let as many units get on the board as possible before making any choices.
Alright.
Now, everybody else needs to go to ranged, because Jermaine needs to go to melee. And here, again, we're probably going to be targeting Spores is likely the best value we're going to get. The opponent taking their sweet time to make choices. There comes the Ikran. Just gonna set up the wagon. This way we can defend some of the weaker cows. Of all the uses of Parasite, that's the one that bothers me least, so I'm kind of happy for it. Heat Wave against Eskel is gonna really hurt. I think they forgot they still have an Temerian Phantom trigger they could pull, so. Do. Again, it would have been nice to give some girth to some of these cows, but we are where we are. You never want to use Pact on Phoenix, by the way, because the Phoenix will get doomed and then we'll get banished.
We'll defend our homes, no matter what.
Golden Froth is 6 points of value for us if Spores isn't, and it's going to give us some more value onto our Uprising leader. But Spores now looking quite good with Beast. And I do want to get down Iron Falcon Juggler and then Bone Talisman, just because it's one more boost onto her.
Who said you can't win wars with whimsy?
Oh my gosh, that is the best. Hey, how's it going? We're recording this video today, trying to get wins with this neutrals Lambert Swordmaster NR deck to meet the challenge that was given to me by Shubham Kumar and Quiet Place.
Toss it onto the pile, then burn it with the rest.
I don't know what the Bruiser is targeting here. Maybe the Pecan? That's a little bit late. Also lucky. I want to get luck like that. Here we're just going to boost up Juggler. She has 3 armor, so it's a little bit better play. Hanging in there in terms of points with this opposing deck, despite incredibly lackluster cards. We're just gonna hold on to Swordmaster till we are good, well, and ready for him, and then we'll use Uprising Leader ability on him as well. So right now, base value of Beast and base value of Temerian Phantom are the same. Beast is going to get capped out at 12. Right now we get max value out of these Conquerors. But they might go for one more. So I think we do the reset next turn. Let's go for Lambert Swordmaster now.
So what's our plan?
And then we just go ahead and use Ale onto him. And we'll probably go for the reset onto a Temerian Phantom if the opponent doesn't do anything to pass this beast, since he's going to be capped. And Phantom would be threatening with the potential 13 points. So right here, right now, the Phantom represents an 8-point reset. That's the best value we can get out of any of these cards. So we are going to go ahead and do that. He is going to get 1 point back. Boom. We drop it down, but we fall just shy. Just too much tempo from the opponent. Too much value to contest. And unfortunately, our Scytheman came down with too much value for the beast. So we just fed him an additional 2 points. Buff Scytheman, though. So at least you had to see how the deck should work. We're going to go into one more game. It gets wins, I promise. I just don't know how. Although, you know what? You know what you need to do this week? You know what we're going to show you? There's another way you can play this deck. And I'm probably going to upload this version. Let's see if we can get out of matchmaking, though. Game hating on me right now. Yeah. Oh no, larvae are 5 provisions. Yeah, but still, same point. Yeah, they're hard to contest. Man, thank you. Okay. I promise I've won matches with this on ladder. You saw us get really close. We just need to contest a little bit better in terms of point value. But this is a plug-and-play deck. Just take a couple of Spring Equinoxes. We're going to slap in Caretaker. We'll drop out probably the least useful of all of these. Peller does have some value, but we're going to take out our packs. And then we need to downgrade a couple more things here. I think let's save out on Caretaker. Caretaker is a great replacement. You could use him instead of Pathfinder. Actually, let's downgrade All God. So we'll go for Caretaker, and then we'll upgrade. one of these wagons into another mantlet. So that's good value for us on the other cards. Okay, so the other way you can play this deck, and this is important if you're trying to make progress on things, you got to play 5 seasonal matches. Some people might say, ew, yuck, I hate the seasonal, and you know, I don't blame you. This season it's a little bit weird. The carryover masquerade balls are a little bit much. I think it probably should have just been for units, but and I had said this in last video, the use of ale is quite nice here. So we can drop down ale and use it between 2 rounds, as the opponent can't remove it. So we do need to get rid of Phoenix for a Heraclex. Caretaker is fantastic in this game mode, though, and we're going to show you why and how that is. I do actually want to keep Squirrel, just because there's a better than 0% chance that the opponent is going to use something like Amphibious Assault or a Neuromancy, but Amphibious Assault being the one I expect most. Carrick City Guards are great targets here for some of this garbage nonsense that we're seeing. We're going to go ahead here and play a Troubadour onto the Mantlet. But the Purifies are really, really good in the seasonal. Notably, don't bring Veiled units into the seasonal because they don't get the Resilience. And for those of you who don't know what Resilience is the status that will allow a unit to remain on the battlefield at the end of the round, then disappears. Again, you need to play these. Even if you're free to play, you still will need to play this to make progress on the journey. And make progress on the journey. It's important. You get cool rewards. It's fun to do, etc., etc. So we did draw like the most terrible of hands. There's no getting around that. We do want to get out Caretaker soon. He does have a 2-round cooldown. We're gonna be able to remove all these resiliences on the opposing units. So they used Carrot Guard to push off our Mantlet, which is not a bad choice at all. We're going to go ahead here and use Caretaker. You want to mix up your rows because a lot of people bring stuff like Spring Equinox. We'll get rid of the Drummer. Yeah. It's seasonal. Playing 5 seasonal games feels like a bit much. Amen to that. So, I will say one thing to just kind of keep in mind, it's helpful to win rounds here. He's going up by 2 points, so he's going to go to 20, so we need to get a 5-point play. My preferred method of getting that would be like an Eskel, but here we can remove 2 of those points. Sorry, 1 of those points, so 7 points of value off of this Redanian Knight. Obviously, Heatwave probably would have been better elsewhere, but we get rid of the resilience status, which allows us to pass. We keep all 3 of these units on the board for us, and set up for a tougher round for the opponent where we will be down a card, but we will be cooler because of the coolness that we have. I don't know. We'll go for Germain Piquant here. So spawned units do not count. We just terrible luck here. We really needed to hero quacks with Phoenix, Eskel Pathfinder, Ale of Ancestors. These are all really good in the seasonal. So Ale of Ancestors, notably, you can this will carry over. But Eskel, any units that kind of get you stuff turn over turn are really, really nice. Redanian Knights aren't very good here. We did banish that one, but they lose the armor and go to melee row for just 1 point. So not always the best play. So I think actually here what we're gonna do, we just need to play out enough units to force the opponent's hand. Let's go ahead and just go for Wagon here to start off with. And then we'll get down our Iron Falcon infantry. They're a passive point generator, so they work really well in the seasonal. Anything that just gets you points without you needing to do anything is really, really good here. Immortals are really interesting. You could try to go for like a Ragnar point slam. It's not the worst choice I've ever seen. I will say though that they're not going to carry over their armor, so you do need to give them armor. So if we purify them, they're going to get boosted. That's fine. I would rather do it at the end of my turn, just so that they're not going to get their shield back to the end of next turn. So if they wanted to do something like Damned Sorceress or something of the like, that they're going to run into that problem. So here, I want the opponent to play down one more card. I'm just going to play something that gets me like nominal value in Iron Falcon Troubadour. And the reason why is I just don't want the opponent to carry over much value. So here we've erased the resilience on the Immortals, and they don't get resilience onto Egmont because he has Veil. And I think we might have seen the opponent here bow out. Not my best day for filming. I'm not gonna lie to you guys on YouTube. Every time we get into a good situation where I'm gonna win, the people just quit. And the other games we get like the worst matchups. But yeah, I think this deck with Caretaker is really, really good in Seasonal. We'll play one more game just to show you guys. But we gotta win here. Even if the opponent would have kept playing, you know, we were gonna win this game. He had nothing to carry over. We were gonna pass. He would still have to make several plays to get over us in terms of points. We were gonna go up to 28. 29, 30 points with our Iron Falcon infantry, and the opponent would have had to catch up to that, playing 16 points of value, and they either would have gone down a card with an extra card on the board, or they would have missed out on not having enough cards on the board. Yeah, and Amphibious Assault with Nautilus is actually quite good in Seasonal. Tutors are really, really good because they get resilience, so you get a free 2-point carryover from all of the tutor cards. Menno, Nautilus, Ermion, Vobjorn, because Skelligan needs 2 tutor cards. Joke. So Nilfgaard is deeply punishing, and we'll walk you guys through how that is. So we won one game. We'll see if we can pull it off this time. It can be a little bit tricky. So I do want to keep both these Spring Equinoxes. I don't think we're going to see Oneiromancy. But I really did want to see our own. So you want to get started with things that aren't going to be of big value because they're probably going to get purified. So here we're just going for Iron Falcon Troubadour. We'll go for Iron Falcon Infantry. Kind of mix stuff up, move it around. Vincent's really good here. He gets instant removal. So Nilfgaard is terrible on ladder, but it's fantastic here. So we pretty much just want to play 3 cards, if we're being honest. And then get out of this round. So we're going to go for infantry. Let's get them taking. They got Ciri's biggest fan. That is not an easy contract to get. You gotta play a lot of games with Ciri outfits. This is a poor play. You never want to put all your units on the same row. This is fine. We don't really mind all that much. Notice that everything is Purify units. Again, we just want to play one more, and here we're going to go for a Heracrax. Force out Triss Telekinesis. I'm not too sad about that. Not at all. Boost up Phoenix. Although that might not have been the best choice, because it would be the target of a Heat Wave. Don't see a lot of heat waves in Assimilate decks. They struggle to get value, and that's typically where they're going. So I'm happy with this outcome. We're ahead. Now something I could do is use Spring Equinox on these cards. I'm carrying over 8 points of value while they're carrying over 12. So that's a little unfortunate for me, but it's close enough that I don't need to worry about it. And even though I'm only carrying over 8, I'm going to get 12 with the Phoenix. Monsters are pretty good in this, but I favor Nilfgaard. But if you want a neutrals deck to do it and to accomplish a couple of different tasks at the same time, I like this deck. I do. It's kind of difficult to work with, if we're being honest, but it's not so bad. This is a poor play, so you carry over status. So the Phoenix was going to graveyard anyway, so it didn't really matter. But he could have poisoned a different unit that had resilience, and it would have kept the poison going into the next round. We'd lose resilience because you can't keep that across all 3 rounds, but we keep the poison, so that would have been a better choice, I think. Now we can use Spring Equinoxes on both rows. This is going to be knock it down, drag it out round. I'm guessing Spores is going to be useful. I somewhat anticipate either like a Kahir or something similar. Maybe even like a Glynis Eplornok, just to get maximum value. Opponent goes for the hard pass, which I don't really understand. We're going to go for Ale of Ancestors, that being the case. We can play up to 3 cards here. So you don't ever want to do what the opponent just did. What you want to do is get out as many cards as possible. So now, the Purifies really aren't that helpful to me. So we're just going to get out Peller. This is just a unit. We just want to get out the units that aren't going to do a lot for us. Iron Falcon Infantry, we're going to have Wagon that we can use to give it some armor, but it is only one of the cards. So I'd like to hold on to him. Let's just get out a Mantlet. Mantlet does give more armor if it has Barricade, which it's going to lose, but it still gives out 1 armor, no questions asked, which is helpful for playing a second Mantlet. So here we're just going to go ahead and take the pass. Eskel would have been another good choice. He's going to carry over, easy peasy, no fuss. But because the opponent is Nilfgaard and they were running Poison Package already, I just kind of want to keep him as safe as possible. Troubadour is not all that helpful. I could keep getting this squirrel for reasons we'll never quite understand. And these are worse. I should have kept the squirrel. The Spring Equinoxes are really of no value to me, but I can defend against poisons with them, so they're not utterly useless. So that being the case, actually, let's go ahead and get Eskel out. Let's boost up Mantlet. And we'll get out the other Mantlet next. But Eskel just represents continued points. Brothen's coming down. I don't like the spying units because the spying units, I mean, you can force clutter, but the spying units do get resilience as well. So that's something to just keep in mind. We do have one problem right now, and that's that we're going to run out of room for cows. That's okay. The cow is only worth 1 point, the Mantlet is worth more. Everything else can go to ranged. So we'll go ahead and get out the infantry. I mean, it might just be the game plan of our opponent to roadblock us.
I divined this move from a sparrow's innards.
Not my favorite play there. They don't get anything from the Purify.
Aim for their knobs!
It is an Assimilate card. We just want to keep passing around these boosts just because we still do have Uprising as our leader. I'll share the deck list. For those of you on Twitch, anytime you ask, I'll always share a deck list. Just let me finish the game and we'll share it. But this is the video for today. Filming it today. for Temerian Tuesday, and it's going to post up tomorrow. So this kind of sucks. We missed out on a lot of value with Gwent here.
In charge on 3.
What are you going to do? So we're going to miss out on the cars on the left, the cows on the left. But now the opponent can't play on that row anymore. So we can force them to play to range. We can use these golden froths. We can use the bone talisman. And we're just going to kind of let them go up in value and then go for the reset. We'll just kind of work our way over here. Stefan Skellen coming out. I anticipate something like maybe like a bribery coming down. We just want to pop the Phoenix before we use Bone Talisman. Typically, it's a loss of 4 points if it's an artifact or not. Shoop is really the only artifact destruction that you really have to kind of like be strongly worried about. Eskel's nice touch here. Lambert's Swordmaster would be pretty nice against our cows. Wagon coming down. Here would probably actually be really nice in this season as well. That's actually a bit of a misplay. We should have used our Uprising Leader first and then done that. Oh well.
This harvest, reaping black-clad heads.
Question is, are 45 points going to be enough?
Vigilance is
So he makes a misplay here. He wanted to use this ability beforehand. We're going to go ahead and reset the Brothams. And just leave him with a couple of Purifies. Oh, I do feel that Heartless. I mean, he does get this double assimilate proc here, so he is going to boost all his assimilate units twice, but not much else. Don't have to worry about the erasure from a Vincent. We get to put Purifies on all our units. Oh, now the opponent's gonna get one of our cool cards. Oh no, Iron Falcon Bandit. Well, at least nothing was close. Alright, now we can purify the bleeds, so
Maybe 10.
that's fine. We'll go ahead and boost up the Cantarella. I don't know. This is some spice and everything nice. But we're getting some bulky cards here. I do just want to purify my ranged row in case he has a Vincent. Obviously, the destruction of my Scytheman would be really annoying. But I think we've pretty much had this game to bed. Nothing is ever set in stone. But making a 38-point play would be rather difficult to do. Especially if it's an Imperial Diplomacy. Yeah, I think we're okay. Anyway, pretty fun. It did actually get us a win in the seasonal. So look, this is a really spicy seasonal deck. I honestly didn't even create it for that purpose, but certainly works really well for it. I'll be sharing the deck list that is for the seasonal. I think it's a little bit better for that, but it does get you wins on ladder. You just have to try hard. But hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And until next time, good luck on the path. Get out there, keep on Gwenting.